Okay, folks, so I'm back again. Uh, Today, I want to record a video just about where I'm at emotionally and psychologically uh, regarding some of the stuff I've shared over the last couple days. I am working really hard to just stay positive, I really do see my situation as an opportunity to um, move through the rest of my life in a much healthier way. And yet, I also said I was going to be as vulnerable and honest through this process as possible. And so I wouldn't be doing that if, I didn't share that I have a lot of fear. Um, me being able to stay healthy is dependent on me being able to change my diet and my food intake so that I'm not eating things that are going to disturb my gallbladder or my colon. That's not going to add to the risk of, precancerous polyps coming back in my esophagus and, all of the other things that have been going on. And I'm not going to review all that. If you're just tuning in now for the first time, please go back and watch some of the videos I've already posted to get caught up on kind of where things are at. But I had the blood test yesterday, so I'll find out about food allergies when I go back next week to see the GI doctor. Um, I also found this disorder, eating disorder that was added to the DSM 5 um, called avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. It replaces another disorder that used to be in the DSM, uh, and it is typically something, both this and the previous disorder were typically something that were um, reserved for children and young adolescents. It's only been in recent years, from the research I've done, the best I can figure, since about 2012, 2013. Um, and since the inclusion of this in the DSM 5, when it was updated, uh, they've just recently started to diagnose this in adults. Like, just recently started to recognize that, okay, adults have this. And I do fit the criteria fairly well, not perfectly. And of course, I can't diagnose myself. I'm not suggesting anybody else do that. Um, but, it's nice to know that there's something out there uh, that validates, this crazy eating uh, problems that I have. And, I uh, I have been ridiculed and picked on for food uh, habits my entire life, ever since I was very young. It's been very obstructive to my life. It's made it hard for me to go out to eat with people, to go to parties where food is being provided. I've always either had to say no or had to make sure I ate before I went in case there wasn't anything I could eat. Um, because of all the ridicule and stuff that I've suffered as a result of my eating habits, it's not something I've been readily open to share and talk with people about. Um, so, it's not like I can say, hey, well, what are you having for dinner? And I'm not saying I've never done that with people close in my life and that kind of thing, but uh, yeah, it's been a huge struggle. And so, I reached out to one, and a friend uh, reached out to a couple mental health providers that still aren't recognizing this disorder, at least not in adults. And their only advice was to go see a dietitian. And uh, initially that's frustrating, but I get it. It's new. Not everybody has experience with it. They're probably not familiar. They didn't seem very familiar, at least the one I talked to. But a dietitian is not going to help. Um, you know, Understanding what the body needs and what healthy foods are and all that kind of stuff, is not my problem. My problem is my opposition to food based on color, texture, smell, so on and so forth. And so I'm going to call over the next few days. I've got a lot going on right now, but and I'm not going to get into all of that. But um, over the next few days, I'm going to be reaching out to some uh, eating disorder clinics and uh, seeing, what guidance or advice they might have, if they know of resources in my local area, maybe even a support group. And, even if there's not a support group for my specific type of issues, maybe there's a support group out there, you know, dealing with food disorders that might be something that would still be helpful for me. Based on my research, it does seem that uh, uh, I forget exactly what they called it, but exposure therapy is what they seem to be using most, uh, as well as some cognitive behavioral therapy and other things to treat these types of disorders. And, I said early on in one of my videos when I was trying to choke down that smoothie that, I may just have to continue forcing myself, to do this. And so, exposure therapy is basically that. Hopefully, in a way that's not too traumatizing or doesn't create additional trauma. Um, yeah, but that is scary. God, just the thoughts of that. I'm feeling sick to my stomach. The thoughts of taking something I don't like a carrot or a piece of broccoli or whatever, and trying to put it in my mouth and eat it is just, it's hard. And, I'm honestly at times, as inspired as I feel, I can simultaneously feel just as hopeless and like this is something that's not going to be possible. And so, whew, yeah, I'm not sure. Look, I've got me biting my nails. I'm going to keep at it. I do want to share, for folks who may be going through similar things, please comment, reach out to me. I'm happy to have discussions with you. I do personal development and coaching workshops and individual work and couples work. While my expertise is not specifically related to eating disorders, and I'm clearly sharing with you that this is still new territory for me, and I'm still learning and trying to figure this stuff out. I'm happy to meet with people, to talk to people. um, I would even do some of that for free, um, especially related to eating disorders, because as I said, I don't really have the expertise, but I'm willing to go through it with you, and to give feedback and to have discussions. And if there's enough people watching this that have specific food related difficulties, maybe there's even an opportunity to put a uh, support group together of a small group of local people. So think about that. Those are all options. The other thing I want to share briefly, and I don't have much time because I need to download some videos and stuff from my phone to make more room. But, um, uh, I want to share a little bit about where I think um, my eating difficulties come from. And, partly it's from just being spoiled as a child. I was the youngest of four kids, and uh, I was picked on a lot. I never felt really connected to my siblings. In many ways, I didn't feel connected to anybody in my family. Uh, yeah, interesting, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I spent most of my time as a child alone, playing by myself, things like that, and was always made to feel stupid or uh, incapable of doing things. It was always, you can't do that. You're not big enough. You're not strong enough. You're not smart enough. All of that was stupid. All of this stuff that was beat into me constantly. And when I say beat into me, sometimes it was physical. Um, and Yeah, and never a lot of support or reinforcement, even from adults that were in my life. And a lot of this related around food. My grandmother, I remember my grandmother and my mother, if I said I didn't want what was made for dinner, I could just get whatever I wanted, a bowl of cereal or whatever. And then I would get ridiculed about that. Oh, well, you're so spoiled and you're this and you're that. And I'd get punched or whatever. And so I know that, that's part of it. But there was also lots of trauma around food. With my family, it seemed like dinner was always a time of fighting and arguing and not just like bickering like siblings and things do, but like I'm talking like major fights. Every time there was big events that often revolved around food, whether it was birthdays or holiday picnics or whatever, Christmas, there was always fights, and there was lots of abandonment that came along with those fights. And so I don't know if part of my problem, if part of my opposition to food is that, I use that shunning of food and that dislike of food as a way to help cope with or maintain some of the negative feelings and trauma that are still connected to all those types of events from my childhood. Um, but that's something that I'm going to continue to explore and see where things go, and I'll kind of keep sharing that stuff with you guys as I figure it out, if I figure it out. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna get together with a couple of people over the next week or so. I gotta look at people's schedules, but I have a couple of people that uh, I can use for supports to help me go through some specific processes around uh, trying to pull some of this out and work through it. So I'll give some reports on how that goes, and I'm talking about this in the Sacred Circle that I go to on Sundays. So if any of you, have some similar issues and want to come there and talk, or if you have unrelated issues and you want to come there and talk, there's no charge. It's, donation based, but you don't have to pay anything. And there's myself and at least one or two other people that are usually there that are experienced facilitators with personal development work and other things. So anyway, yeah, just keep me in your thoughts. If you're a praying person, keep me in your prayers. If you're, a Reiki practitioner, send me healing energy. Whatever it is that you do, I would accept that, because it's uh, it's inspiring and it's depressing, and it seems like a mountain that I'm never gonna get up. um, and while I'm staying mostly positive about all this right now, I'm worried about where that positivity is going to go long term. Uh, I have made some small steps in changes to my diet over the last few weeks. I'm nibbling at some lettuce, iceberg lettuce. I'm not ready for the dark lettuce. Uh, and I'm eating a little bit of celery. And I tried to drink that smoothie. I'm trying just with foods that I like uh, to modify them a little bit in ways that I normally wouldn't do. Like, if an apple has a little soft spot, I'm trying to just eat through it instead of cutting it out. Same with bananas. I like pears, but I've always just eaten the yellow pears, and I don't Bartlett pears, I think they're called. And I bought some red pears, which was whoa, big step. But I ate one and I got through it. So, it's not anything drastic. It's not a bunch of veggies or anything like that yet, but I'm making small steps. And, so the exposure therapy is something that I kind of already started, but I would like to look and have more support. And I'm down to less than a minute of time that I can record, so I'm going to kind of stop here. Again, thank you for the support. Please subscribe to my page. Please share my page so other people can see it and subscribe. I'll be sharing this on Facebook. Please like and follow my Facebook page. And let's get through this. Let's, get me through it, and let's help other people get through it. And, I know I'm focusing a lot on myself right now, but as time goes on, I am going to expand these videos to other topics, things I have more experience with, archetypes, virtues, how I work with those to help myself and other people. And so, yeah, stay tuned, keep watching the videos. If you want to go to my GoFundMe page and provide some support, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I think you just search me out on GoFundMe, Donald Nicely. And I'm getting a warning now. I've got like 20 seconds, so I'm signing off. Thanks so much.